sit up on the bolster. Most of you already are. And the reason for that is that when we sit on the floor or in a bucket seat and our knees are above our hips, then it's very difficult to get the spine to extend. And it requires like a lot of work in the inner groins. But if you prop your buttock up above or in line with your knees, then your groins can release and your sacrum can just come in and your spine can then extend up a lot more easily. So if your back is like in active pain and your knees are still pretty high, you could even make that a little bit higher by putting your blocks underneath it. So if Genevieve and Eleanor will try that, I think it'll help you feel even more ease back there. Like this. So you're gonna put the blocks here. And make yours really high. Yeah. You might like it too, Mom. If you want to try it even higher speed. Like this. Because then what you're doing, so also like if you're someone with tight hips, you should try it. Because if you have tight hips and you sit up higher, you are also giving your hips and your legs the help of gravity to release down. See, isn't that more comfortable? All right. You think so? Yeah. It's okay if you're not sure. It's okay if you're not sure. But just, right? Isn't that nice?
Yes.
Yeah, it is nice because you're higher up so the knees can go down. Also, when we do this pose, it can help to get more opening in the inner groins. But yeah, so take a few breaths. Is everybody comfortable enough? Check in with your body. Notice how you're feeling today. You are likely in this room because you have struggled with back pain before, or maybe you are struggling from it right now. And that is why I'm here, because I have struggled with it so much in my past, and I've found that it's so much more than just a physical thing. That we often experience pain or discomfort along our spine, anywhere in our back, energetically or emotionally or spiritually. And so we'll talk a little about that today. But for a moment, if you guys will just maybe close your eyes and raise a hand if you are actively in pain today. I checked in with some of you. Yeah, but raise your hand if you're in any pain today. Yeah. And then keep it up. We're gonna leave it up if your pain is above a 2 on a scale of 1 to 10. And then keep it up if yours is above a 5. Okay, cool. So we're all in a really great place to do some work. If you're on that pain scale and you're in like a 5 or above, you just need to make length and space. Maybe rest the muscles, breathe until you find, so like honestly, when we're in active pain, feel free to adjust. We're just gonna talk for a minute and then we'll do some practices and then we'll talk for a minute and then we'll do some practices. But anyway, if you are in pain above a 5, you're in active spasm, things are hurting no matter what you do. Hey, I'm so glad you're here. Come on in. We just started. You're all good. Get you some props with mat, blanket, bolster, and 2 blocks, and the straps underneath them. Thank you so much. Yeah, I'm so glad to see you. Maybe just right there. Yeah. I think you're the last one. So. But anyway, okay, what I was saying, if you're above a 5, if you're in active pain, you want to find a position that is comfortable and rest and breathe into it. Let your breath be like a healing balm. If your pain stays at that 5 or above scale, definitely seek medical advice and attention because there might be something you can't see and you can't understand, right? But if it's below a 5, doing some practices like we're going to do today are really wonderful, especially if you're at like a 2 or 3, you just got a little pain, or you're someone like me who like, it comes and goes, and I've gotten to a place where I don't let it get above a 5 anymore because I have the practices. Good job, Julie. Because I now have the practices to help it stay below that 5. And that doesn't mean, and pain is a part of life, right? So there's 3 kinds of pain. There's positive pain, which is like when you're stretching your hamstrings and then you come out of it and you're like, my leg feels better. Because stretching can be painful, but our body wants it. Then there's negative pain, which is like that sharp shooting pain. You've probably felt it before. You don't feel like you should move anymore. It's alerting. Maybe it stays around for a while. That's not good pain. And then there is post-exercise pain. So you might be a little sore after this class in some different places, hopefully. And that's great to know before we start moving, especially if you have been in a pain pattern, because you'll have to ask yourself what's going on. Today, if you find pain, if it comes to you, I want you to stop and breathe before you decide it's wrong. You can come out a little bit, breathe. We don't want to go straight through the pain ever during class or anytime we're trying to heal pain. We want to explore near the pain threshold without going right into it. And then we make space with our breath and with our bones. We move our body in ways to make space. We observe our thoughts, because when we think we're in trouble, we create more trouble. And we want to observe what's going on in our lives, because pain is multidimensional. You can write this down if you want. There are 3 parts that are important when you're thinking of pain. There's physical pain that happens, right? Maybe something's pinched. Maybe you've got a bruise, right? That's clearly like something physical's happening. I've got some pins and note cards right there. And then there is, there's psychosocial, physical. That's the idea. Every time we're in pain, there is mental patterns that happen. Like when I go into pain, I'm getting better at this, but I used to go into panic mode. Oh my gosh, I will never get better. What if I'm always gonna feel this way? And then I'm in this spiral of like never feeling like I'm gonna get better. Yeah, you might have that. Sometimes people go into pain and they say, no, I'm not in pain. They deny it and they go through it and they force themselves through it. They work too hard. And then sometimes people do the opposite. They say, I'm in pain. I can't move. I'm gonna just relax until it's better. So maybe you've had a little bit of them all. But you might notice one that really sticks out. Oh, when I get pain, I get really scared and I think it's the end of the world. Oh, when I'm in pain, I think I'm not going to be able to move again. Oh, when I'm in pain, I think I better get through this and go harder. So those can all cause more pain, and those are all mental things, right? Those are our thoughts. So when you catch yourself having those thoughts, take a breath and say to yourself, I'm in pain right now. Pain is a natural part of life. It's going to be okay. I will get through this. You will get through this. Okay. I think that's enough of a lecture for the beginning of class. But those are all important things to think about. So let's sit tall. You can cross your legs if that's comfortable. You can extend your legs if that's more comfortable. Adjust. And we'll do a little mental centering. So I'll be reminding you of those themes I shared at the beginning of class. You don't have to remember everything. We're going to cup the hands beside the brain. Notice your brain waves. Inhale. And as you exhale, bring your hands together at the center of your skull. We're going to breathe here. And on an exhale, bring hands down inside the chest. And breathe here. Again. Hands beside the brain, little cups, so fingers together like you could hold the energy of the skull. You're going to inhale into the head. Exhale, bring hands together as if they were coming inside the skull. Breathe here. And as you exhale, bring them down inside the chest. Again, hands by the brain. Inhale. As you exhale, bringing your senses inward. Inside the skull, breathe here. And exhale down inside your chest. So really feel inside the chest as you take another breath. You're going to do it one more time on your own. Just tuning into your inner wisdom. And then we're going to bring hands beside the hips. You can give your lower back a little massage here, especially if it's a little tender or sore today. Cup your hands beside your hips now. Same thing, but it's a pelvic centering. So we're going to inhale. Fill that space. Exhale, hands together. fingers pointing down. Breathe into the pelvis. And then exhale, hands to heart. Good, let's do that again. Hands by the hips, inhale. Exhale, bring your attention inside the pelvis. Breathe here. Softening that area, exhale to the heart. All right, one more time together, inhale. Exhaling to center. This is like our power center, so coming into your inner power. And then exhale, bring it up into your heart. And we'll join for 3 ohms. And then really ground down into your sitting bones. You could bring your hands to your thighs, press into the chair or bolster, and lift and lengthen through the crown of your head. So you imagine this tall, skinny triangle. Yeah, feel free to adjust your legs if easy. This tall triangle, the sitting bones, the bottom 2 points, and the crown of the head, the top point. You're going to lift and lengthen, let those sides of the triangle grow longer. And breathe into that, let your shoulders release down. Everybody grip your jaw for a second. Feel where else you're gripping. And release your jaw, breathe. Do that one more time so you can notice what other parts of your body grip when you are gripping your jaw. Where else do you feel it? Your belly.
I feel it in the front of my neck here.
Front of your neck.
And my ear.
Ears.
Back of my neck too.
Shoulders, we grip everywhere where we grip our jaw, right? Yep, here, this spot for sure. And so, release the jaw. The throat is so connected to the pelvic bowl. This whole tube, right? That's the idea. We want to unkink the tube. Okay, interlace your fingers. Let's press our palms up. And bow your head down. Let your back ribs lift. Take a nice full breath here. Woo. One more breath. Navel comes in. Hands lift up. And release. Switch the cross of your fingers and press up again. Spread your palms and bow your head down. Let the sitting bones ground. Let the top of your triangle, which is now your hands, lift higher. And release. Reach those arms wide as you lower down. And roll your shoulders. Just take big shoulder circles, as big as you can make them. And reverse. Big circles. How about that back and down position? Can you hold it there for just a second? That's usually the trickiest one. Yeah, breathe in, breathe out, and release. Inhale, lift your arms up. Exhale, turn to the right. Legs could be extended or bent, doesn't matter. Press the right hand down, lift the heart, inhale. And as you exhale, bring navel toward the spine to twist. Look over the right shoulder, inhale. And exhale back to center. Good, inhale, lift up. Exhale to the left, lifting the spine. Keep it nice and tall. Press the left hand down to lift the spine, lift the heart. That's it. And as you exhale, bring the belly out. But keep the heart lifted. Yes, yes. And then back to center. Take your legs out in front, wiggle your toes. You can bring your hands beside you on the bolster or behind you a little bit. Yeah. And then just bend and straighten your legs, pumping your quadricep muscles. So really feel the kneecaps lift and release. Yes, feel these quad muscles lift and release. Good. Do it about 10 times, maybe 2 or 3 more. And then bring hands to the inner knees. We're going to pull up on the inner knee. Draw the soles of your feet together. Great. So one more thing, if you feel like you've got pretty tight hips, maybe you've always been like, why are my knees so high? And those hips are tight. You could take a blanket here and put it, especially if you're sitting high, sometimes that helps, behind your heels. It just makes the ankles a little more comfortable. Yeah. And then you can again press down and lift the heart. Yeah. We'll wake up our glute muscles. So the toes are off the blanket, that's it. The heels are on, which just gives the ankles and all those tubes down there a little more ease. And then press down with the knees, lift up through the heart. So think about from the outer knees, you're pulling back into the gluteus muscles, the gluteus maxim muscles. That's what Annie calls them. It's pretty cute. Like 4-year-old. And then think of reaching from the inner groins out the knees. And yes, and drawing back from the outer knees into the hips. Good. Start to peel your feet open. They might be able to peel open here, even if it's just a tiny bit, like a book. Yeah. Spread them out and then give your feet a little massage. My butt said, I can't reach my feet if I'm that high. Because I'm someone with short arms. So it's like, there's no way I could reach them that high. But luckily, I've been opening my hips a lot, so I sit lower if I need to. Thanks, hips. But again, yoga's not about the shape of our body. I don't know if I said that yet today, but for some of you, that's a for sure again, because I say that a lot. We're going to take our legs out in front again. Let's roll out the ankles, bring your hands behind you, lift the heart again. Yes, and then pump your quads 3 more times. Oh, goodness. Sorry, everybody.
What was that?
It's my phone. My goodness. I knew I'd forget something. So funny. One of my best friend is like, girl, don't you read my schedule? I'm kidding. Nobody reads my schedule. My husband doesn't even know my schedule.
They never. Even if it's been the
Okay.
same thing for 10 years.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Okay, so now if you guys will just come over here, I'm going to show you a couple of things. You stand up, come really close to my mat, and let it be a bit brighter in here. Because if there's one thing that I've learned, it's that when we see something, we process